Hello and welcome to another update video about DOT. Here on the larger time frame, DOT seems to be correcting in a wave 4. The only question is it already the main fourth wave? I think it could be based on the depth of that decline. We're going to take a look at that on the smaller time frame in a minute, but overall we are now in the larger support zone we talked about here a few days ago. We always have to consider that the price dips into these support regions. That's why they're on the chart. They always tell you the risk levels. So when we get a correction into these support regions, it shouldn't be surprising. Okay, so again, we see a bit of a correction today. Yes, you can call it a massive dip, but again, the third waves were very much extended. So I talked about that, right? That's why regular profit taking is so important across the sector in the altcoin space. But I said to you, once we get these wave 4s, there could be opportunities to enter again, right? And this seems to be one of those. And it's a bit unclear if this is only the start of it. We will have to see. But overall, we're now in a support region. It can make sense to look for entries once we enter these support regions, because even if the correction extends, it should be an ABC structure. So we might usually, or we would usually see, just to show you, this here as an A wave down, then we would see a B wave bounce and a C wave down. Now the problem is a lot of people panic sell down here and then you get the bounce and then they have to buy back, and then the C wave comes and they sell again. And that's why typically when we have oversold conditions, it can make sense to look for an entry. I mean, this support area wasn't a chart. Let's take a look at the RSI. I mean, we're still on the daily chart in the bullish range above 50. Now, that said, the MACD shows a bearish cross. Again, the daily isn't closed yet, so it will be interesting to see how the daily closes here on the MACD, but this is only the daily chart. We're going to take a look at that on the 4-hour chart as well. So overall, we're far away from oversold. We don't necessarily need to be oversold in a wave 4, right? In a wave 2, you often get oversold conditions. I'm not sure if it actually did that in this wave 2. Let's just double check that. We were oversold here, yeah, and then it built those divergences across, here, and you actually see them on the smaller time frames more clearly. But we had an oversold reading. That often happens when we get these, let's say, liquidation events. There was one in August, around the 5th of August. But main takeaway at the moment, we're not oversold yet. So, but we are in the bullish range, which is still indicating that we are in an overall uptrend, and we haven't even broken Fibonacci support. So yeah, overall, at the moment, the pattern hasn't changed for DOT. And I would still like to see actually one more high. Yeah, one more high in wave 5 of C of 2. And the next upside levels are 1238. Nearly reached it. It nearly reached it, but not quite. And then 1393, 1657, 1923. So let's take a look at the smaller time frame for DOT. It's one of those days where the entire watch list is red. Wow. Okay, so it's difficult to say, is this still the smaller degree wave 4? I would assume probably not, but we haven't got a sustained break yet. This is not classed as a sustained break of support. We might very well still be in wave, we might have completed wave 4. So it's not entirely clear yet. Is this wave 4 with one more high in wave 5? Sometimes you get these you could say liquidation candles. Look at that rebound from the 50% retracement. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure if this is this wave degree. I mean, if it's finished now, if the low is in, then we can get one more high. We have a massive rebound, but key support goes down to 578. This is also what you see on the daily time frame. Here's 571. It's just that it's a little bit more precise on that smaller time frame. So around around 570, 580, the price should not break below it. Now, it could be all of this smaller degree wave 4, but if the next rally is only corrective, and it might take a few days to actually see that, then we'll probably roll over again for a larger wave 4, A, B, C, and then we can see wave 5, or we form one more high, then get that larger wave 4, then that wave 5. So I think that's quite clear, the outlook at the moment, but only above 578. I'm going to look for higher. Below that level, it becomes clearer and clearer that this rally started to fail. But again, it's only a 3-wave move up so far overall. We need 5 waves for any, for a more bullish scenario anyway. And we haven't got that yet. Okay, we haven't got 5 waves yet. So structure is super fragile. But even if it's fragile, you have very, very clear risk levels to watch. And overall, such corrections in the altcoin sector after a rally like that, not too surprising. What now the bulls need to do, they need to make sure that the relevant support levels are holding. Micro support, not so important. The main support levels that I often show on the daily chart, even more important. Yeah. So yeah, just dip into support. Now we just need to see a little bit more structure to determine which wave degree it is. But overall, I think it's important to recognize that the area around 570 to 580 is the key support, the key pivot between bullish and bearish momentum on the DOT chart. That's the update about DOT. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also, make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter for additional content. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.